Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing this morning? Hopefully things are going well. We are, well, over here in the CashFlow Diary world, we have been up for a while, meaning many of you may know, maybe you don't know, but we are in the middle of helping individuals get started building their short-term rental business. So we started this morning. It'll continue to tomorrow as well, and it is, well, it's a privilege, and it's also fun for me to be able to deliver content and help individuals get started. So we won't be obviously talking necessarily about short-term rentals right now because that's not what we're doing. But if that's something that is of interest to you and you want to join us, it is not too late to get caught up. Just go to cashflowdiary.com/2day or cashflowdiary.com today to join the event, or you can also text today to 38470. Again, today, the day, as in now, as well as it's a 2-day event, 38470. And we will make sure that you get caught up with us and join us, because the next session actually starts right after this. So right after this, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we are going to go into what is session number 2, which is all about how to find the money. Session number 1 was all about why short-term rentals and etc. So now session number 2 is going to help a lot of individuals be able to go out there and find the money, because that's exactly what we want to do. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Jay, CEO of CashFlow Diary. What we do is we help you become a bigger, better, badder entrepreneur. That is the plan, that is the goal, that is what we do. And we do that through, we just use real estate as the tool to help you do so that you can build the cash flow and significance that most individuals are looking for. And we specifically focus on short-term rentals because, well, I believe very strongly that this is the absolute time to make that happen. Now, because of everything that is going on in the world, many of you know that we do a fair amount of live streaming, but we're going to be cutting down the locations that we do this in down to two. I think I've been saying this all month. And that means instead of 7, there'll be 2. So if you want to watch us on Facebook, it's facebook.com/CashFlowDiary live. Or you could also catch us on YouTube. So for those of you who are on YouTube, awesome, you are in the right spot. That is just youtube.com/CashFlowDiary. So in fact, YouTube is going to be the place where we will be live most often. So I would encourage those of you who desire more of the content similar to what we're going to be doing here in just a moment to head on over there for sure. Now, with all that being said, if this is your first time here, I want to know that too, because I want to make sure that not only that I can welcome you, but also give you some context for the content so that you can go out there and succeed at your conquest, whatever that might be. And the goal is to help build you today. That's really what a lot of the streams were about, because I wanted to build me. And the way to build me was to do something that I was afraid I could not do, which in this case was, could I go live 30 days? 30 days. Could I actually do that? That back in November seemed like a thing, and I've been thinking about it for a while. Could I do it? Would I disappoint people? Would I get started and quit? Would I let them down in some way, shape, or form? Yeah, so it was all those types of questions and things surrounding that well, honestly, prevented me from doing so. And then the world changed. And it seemed like now was the time. If there was going to be a time to try and to fail, now would be it. And so here we are. So welcome. So if this is your first time here in the chat, again, type the word FIRST, F-I-R-S-T, 1, 2, 3, ready, go now. Thank you. That would be great, because we'll get to answering your questions and those types of things here for sure. And I just want to make sure, though, that I can welcome you as well. Now, what we're going to talk about in the time that we have today is quite simply probably one of the most important lessons that I can remember learning, especially as the beginning of my entire real estate career, if that makes sense. So in my real estate career at the beginning, one of the first lessons, like first lessons, if you will, was simply choosing, right? Simply choosing. Because when you were first getting started, you ask questions like, hey, is this a good deal? You ask questions like, does this work for, how do I know? There's so many things that you are unsure about, but you still, in order to, you have to choose, right? You have to choose. So developing a system around helping you choose is really, it's critical. It's foundational to business, to life in any way, shape, or form. How can you know that you are in a position to, or not necessarily in a position, but that you are making the absolute best decision that you can right now? Like, how do you know that? And getting to a point where you're confident with that ultimately came down with developing a process and a series of questions. And that's what I want to share with you guys, is what that would be. Oh, got it. So this, for those of you wondering, like, what is all that? This was the part of the information that we were just going over from the short-term rental class. So it is now gone. Here we go. But having that ability to, having the ability to put together a system for yourself will give you the freedom that is required, because I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Opportunity knocks, okay? And it doesn't stop knocking because you choose not to answer the door. It just it keeps knocking, and it'll keep knocking until somebody answers the door. So if it's not you, maybe it's me, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your cousin, maybe it's the person you hated in high school. It doesn't really matter, but someone is going to answer the door, because opportunity is nothing if not persistent. It will continue to do that because that's what opportunity does, right? It's kind of what it does. It is seeking expression in so many different ways, and it will find a way to do exactly that. So one of the things that's important is to understand is how to choose. Simply that. When I say how to choose, because understand everything in life is a choice. We have various amounts of opportunities to choose from, right? Some of you have been given a choice recently. Do I find another job while I'm furloughed or laid off, or do I find another job even though I got a job now? Is this really what I want to be doing? We all are given choices all the time. So I had to develop a system because opportunity doesn't wait. When you're looking at a deal, when you're looking at something, understanding how you are going to come to a solid decision is important, as I said. So what does that mean? That means know why you buy. Like, know why. Not do the numbers make sense because the number, no. Why would you buy? Okay? Know, and you probably can guess what this one is going to be. Why you sell, right? Now you're like, but not every choice is a buy and sell. Stick with me, kind of is. And then number 3 is all around, it is all around the world of compared to what? So for each and every one of us, we have limited resources, limited money, limited amount of time, limited amount of knowledge, limited amount of experience. Everything is limited in some way, shape, or form. So therefore, choice is necessary. It's just a part of it. It is a choice, okay? So when it comes down to it, when I say know why you buy, know why did you choose? For example, here's a sale, here's a purchase that you made today that you didn't think about as a purchase, or that you probably didn't think about as a purchase. It's very simple. Very simple. What you didn't think about as a purchase was that you're watching this stream. See, what happened is you are contributing. You are sacrificing some of your resources, time, in exchange for something that you perceive, at least at the moment, to be of greater value. You bought. That is the process of exchange. You bought. You gave up something valuable for something you perceive to be of greater value. You bought. That's why you watch a movie. That's why you watch the TV or the YouTube channel or whatever it is. There's an exchange that's happening, right? So I'm hoping that we are giving you more in use value than you spent in cash value. Now, I know you spent very little in cash value. So giving you more in use value. But you have to know why you bought. What I'm literally saying is, why do you watch what you watch, read what you read, go where you go, hang out with whom you hang out with? Because this is a part of why do you do that? How does it help you achieve your goal, or is it a part of a plan? What is it that you are gaining? Because you are making this exchange all the time. This exchange also happens when it comes to assets and money and business, etc. But why do you buy? Why do you go to your kid's soccer game? What is that about? Is it because you just don't want to feel guilty because your mom came to yours and you just feel like you got to go? Do you actually want to be there? Is it because you're trying to support your kid, to help them build? Why do you buy? Okay? Know why you sell. Why would you also then, therefore, say no? Or why would you not need to do X, Y, and Z, or go to the kids' game? Or why would you stop doing something you are currently doing? What is in it for you? I don't know. But why do you no longer need to keep doing that exchange? See, you can hold a property for example, and then there comes a time where it is time to sell. What conditions must be in place for that to happen? Because there are conditions. You may not consciously think about it, but I'm asking you to. Why did you move from one house to another, one neighborhood to the next? Because you left the existing neighborhood, which at one time was great, but it is now not. And for what reason? Not understanding your own reasons for these two things can put you in a state of confusion and quandary, because then you don't know. And the only thing that's left is for you to accept someone else's reasons for why you should buy or why you should sell. If you don't have your own, the only other opinions that are left are someone else's. So one of the first lessons I had to learn was form my own opinion and then confirm what I suspect. I'll say that again. Form my own opinion and then confirm what I suspect. Notice I didn't say no. Notice I didn't say prove. I didn't say any of that. I just said confirm my own opinion. I believe this is a good building. I believe this is a good use of my time. I believe, then confirm what I suspect. Always evaluate, though, these choices in view of the goal and plan that you've set forth, because you may not be choosing something that's even in line with that. Now, this presupposes that you have a vision of what it is that you actually want to accomplish. Again, so long as you have that, then that, again, it makes it easy for you to live life by design as opposed to by default. Then, after you've got these, it becomes compared to what? This is the quintessential return on investment question compared to anything and everything else I could be doing with this 30 minutes, 45 minutes, this 2 hours, this 15 minutes, this $20, 15 cents, $200, $2 million, whatever it is, compared to everything else I could do with this particular resource right now, not in the future, right now. Is this the best of all of my options? Here's why this is important. You're going to be presented with a lot of opportunities, especially upcoming now, because of how the world works. There are going to be more opportunities. But because your resources are limited, you're going to be afraid to choose, because some will be thinking, oh no. In fact, we have a term for this. We're going to be thinking, oh no, what if something better comes along? And we got the big old FOMO. We're like, I don't want, this is good, but I don't want to, but what if a better one comes? What if a better one doesn't come? My point is saying you can't act in the future. You don't know, right? You don't know. Your best bet, my best bet, our human best bet is to not think in a binary terms when it comes to our choices. Because this is something I annoyed, when we first got married, I annoyed my wife with this one, like literally annoyed her. Because I would say, there's no right or wrong, it's good, better, or best. That I like annoyed. I can't even tell you how much. Annoyed her with that one. It's good, better, or best. So is it if it's good, is it better or best? And the only way you know if it's better or best is if you have something to compare it to. Which then means if you're considering something for a time slot or any resource that you got, compared to any other way you could use that resource in this moment. Because in this moment is the only moment you and I can act. We can't act in the future or the past. So The whole, well, what if something better comes? Something better isn't here. So everything that you see right now, good, better, best. If you only have one, then go get two more and see what that looks like, right? If you're considering, if you're considering a movie, if you're only considering one, then go see if there's two more that you can consider as well. And if there isn't, then now you know. Compared to everything else that is an option, I am making the best decision. What if a better movie comes out next week? Then go to the movie next week too. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, because that's really what this process can do. Now there's a couple of caveats though, because one of the things that I had to learn is how to say no to a deal, even if it was good or could potentially be good, and I had no other choices. Meaning, I learned to ask myself another question, one more question, which totally then freed up everything on the planet, because it got rid of, totally destroyed this whole FOMO thing, because I had to ask myself, because there have been times in my career, my life, etc., your life, where you said no to something, and then because maybe you are afraid that something wouldn't work out, or maybe it wouldn't go well, or maybe it just wouldn't be the experience that you had hoped for, but somebody else said yes to it, and then it was everything you had hoped it would have been, and then more, and you had to and then you're like, oh man, now you've got regret, right? So to deal with that, what I would do is I would future pace myself by asking, if everything goes right, if all of the stuff happens based upon who I am right now, would I still make that same decision? Thank you. Based on all of that, would I still make the same decision? Would I be emotionally okay if I said no to this and then it went on to do gangbusters? And if I can say, yeah, and give myself like 3 really clear reasons why I would still be okay with that, it would be fine. Here's an example. There was a time I was working with a group to help build a hotel internationally. And it came down to, do I really, do I have what I need in order to make this solid decision to take this, I think it was like $2 million risk. Do I have it? Ultimately, it came down to, no, I don't have it. And not only do I not have it, continuing to do the work to go get it was not something I considered to be the highest and best use of my time at that moment, which then meant I needed to ask myself, if 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, this becomes the project that it could become, and I know that I was there at the ground floor, like ground, like it was still ground floor, would I be okay? Would I be able to look at that, celebrate their win, and still be okay? And that's exactly what happened. I said no. It went on to be great, and is great. At least I assume it's still great. And at the end of the day, I'm okay. You know, I'm glad that they were able to make their millions and sell it the way that they're being able to sell it and operate it and all. It's awesome, excellent. But I know that at that time, I wasn't the person. I was not emotionally capable of taking that risk. So that version of me was not ready for that. And that's what it came down to. It had nothing to do with anything other than I was not, So from a financial standpoint, would that have been a great thing? Yeah. But I don't think I would have been able to, quote unquote, weather the storm. Because once you've made an investment, now you spend a lot of time protecting it and doing all the other things that come along with it. And I was not that person. So when you go to sell or say no, you need to ask yourself, in the future, would say even 6 months from now, if I said no to this, would I be proud of the no decision? right? If the opposite or the very thing that, like, if I if I sell this stock, would I be happy with that decision in the future? So, you know what? I'm gonna tell you another one of those stories. No, this one is, trust me, if you ever corner my wife and ask her about this one, like, I don't even know if she's watching right now, but if you ever corner my wife and ask her, oh God, I can't even tell you that. Ask her about our history with Netflix stock. Woo, buddy. Let's just say that when in that situation, what I should have done is I should have also asked her if she would regret the beginning to say no part as well. I also did the same thing with Ford stock, but that's a whole nother story. But either way, in essence, I sold both way too soon. Way too soon. Some of you don't even remember when Netflix had DVDs in the mail as their primary method. And all I'm going to say is, yeah, just imagine stock. Yeah, all I'm going to say is that. It's all good. It's all good. So just don't tell her what the stock price is today. That's not going to help my relationship with her. So you're now making an investment by restraining from doing that. So please, nonetheless, my point is, know why you sell, know why you buy, compared to what, good, better, or best, and squash that FOMO. It's no big deal. Yeah, you can make another decision. This isn't the last time you're going to make that decision, right? In fact, another way of looking at this is sometimes, like, especially when you're making a decision that requires a lot of resources, it can feel like it's the only time you're going to be able to make that decision. And that's not necessarily true, because often you can find a way to replenish the resource that you're about to expend. And that's the part that you maybe didn't spend a lot of time thinking about. For example, one of the reasons I like short-term rentals is because you can build a system that keeps producing down payments, right? And because when you go to buy a piece of real estate or a big asset, you're committing a significant amount of resources. Well, the only part of the reason that those resources feel like it's a significant amount is because maybe it took you 2, 3, 4, 5 years to save it, and then you invested it or spent it or whatever. And you know it might take you another 5 years before you get that back. Well, if that same dollar amount that it took you 5 years to do, you can now do in 90 days, 180 days, or a year, you're suddenly less emotionally attached to that particular one, because you know, hey, guess what? I'll be able to come back to the well. I'll be able to do it again in 90 days. So even if I get it wrong, it's no big deal. It won't be that bad or that catastrophic, because we have more coming, if that makes sense. And those are the types of things. This is why, if you're building a business, SOPs are insanely valuable. You need standard operating procedures, because what it comes down to is you don't want to have to keep retraining someone. That's the difference. The retraining part, when it's you, because you don't have SOPs, you are having to recommit time to do the same thing again and again and again and again, and keep training and keep showing people how to do stuff, and that becomes a drain. Which is why you end up keeping an employee or a contractor or a service person longer than you probably should, because you're like, man, if I let them go, then I have to go get another person. And that's just an indication that your systems aren't what they need to be. Another example is, if you're a landlord and you've got a person, you are intentionally under renting a building, it's the same. Again, it's another sign of the same thing, is that you're making a choice without understanding that the resource just needs a better system behind it to be replenished. So that's really what it comes down to. Because if we're operating from scarcity, these are the things that we'll do. And it's easy to operate from scarcity, especially when you get lots of reinforcement on that. And right now we're all being, hear the word correctly, offered scarcity. You can choose to say yes or no to it or not, right? Because It's just an offer. You don't have to accept it. And you can then begin to build something completely different, if that makes sense. And that's exactly what these streams and streams like this and the things that you attend and watch hopefully are designed to do, to give you the tools necessary, the belief necessary, or even just the feeling. Maybe that's all you need today. It's just, can you just help me feel a little bit better so that I can keep moving forward. So for those of you who are here for the first time, this is the part where what we're going to do is, I'm just going to ask you, write in the comments right now, please. Yes, right now. One thing that you have just learned, whatever that might be. Something from this particular session. What have you learned? I'm hoping you learned something. And if so, what is it? Because through your feedback, that's how I'm going to improve. That's how you're going to get the content you need. That's how you're going to document that you actually understood something, right? No one's going to criticize your answer. Just put it in the comments, because somebody, probably someone else who's lurking but not commenting, probably wants to know what you learned too, or probably learned the same thing and just is afraid to say something about it. And also though, for those of you who are here for the first time, understand we intend to be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. as well. And what I'm going to do now is just going to see through some of the comments, look for those of you who were here for the first time, welcome you, and then we'll be done here in just a moment. Let's see what we got. Go scroll back. All right. What is this? Oh, cool. Sorry, the software literally just popped up. Like, it's literally asking me if it wants me to update it, like right now. This is not the time. Anyway, AC Lord says, you can't deposit equity or excuses. Are you, okay, I don't know if you, you see this? Yes, I don't know. I agree with you. It's right there. Yeah, yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, my friend. You cannot deposit excuses at all. Understay. What does it say? I feel like, Dante, I feel like you made the music yourself. I like it. It gets me pumped in the morning. Awesome. I'm glad that I do spend a lot of time. I do spend a lot of time listening to music that is actually made by a number of people so that we can have something for the stream. I'm not sure if I played you guys any of the songs that I have made. I don't remember if I have, but anyway. So the ones that you are listening to, I did not, but I appreciate that. Although if you know someone who makes good beats and music and whatnot, I'm down to play their stuff too. It's fine. So this is good. Stephanie, got it. You got the kids dancing. I love it. Great. Yeah, I love it. That's perfect. Hone, have a hypothesis and then run a test to verify. Yes, absolutely. I think the scientific method, if you will, can serve you quite well, because we put too much pressure on ourselves when we're trying to choose, and it's really more about experimentation. Like, you don't know. Let's go run an experiment, because once I say the word experiment, you're like, oh, okay, I don't mind. Let's go experiment. It's a different context, but it's kind of the same thing. So limited resources creates FOMO, which creates a lack of action, 100%. Because if you feel like you're never, ever, ever going to get this opportunity again, you're not going to do jack. And that's exactly what too many people do, is nothing. So I'm hoping to help all of us get past that, so that you and I, we start doing many other things. So let's see, what is this? If any two things have both pros and cons, there's no perfect answer. Correct. One may just be slightly better, which could be the best answer in that situation. Exactly. It's a good, better, best situation, right? It's not all or nothing or black and white thinking. It's just good, better, or best. That's it. It's good, better, or best. Nothing more. You decide. Go run your experiment. Let's find out. Oh, that was the good one, not the better one. Okay, cool. Next time, do better. When you know better, do better. Simple, right? And yes, you are not limited to one movie. People, come on. You know what? How long does it take you and your friends to decide? Hey, let's go to the movies. Or, what do y'all want to eat? You know, those are some very long conversations sometimes, right? Majid says, need to create SOPs. Absolutely. Otherwise, if you don't have SOPs, SOPs are what remove the fear behind hiring, firing, and getting the correct people on your team. McDonald's has a great system. Therefore, they can hire and fire nearly anybody at any particular time. That's how it works. That's what gives them the freedom. That's also part of what makes it possible for the humans you're working with to perform their best. It's because they know that that's also there, right? So Alexia says, using short-term rentals to fund down payments for larger real estate investments. Yeah, for larger or smaller, just for real estate investments or anything, it's something we call a purpose or profit account. And that's part of our system where we teach them in phase 2 exactly how to do exactly what you're talking about there, because that's part of the process, right? So it removes the FOMO, gives you, it just so much better in our opinion. That's why we do what we do, the way we do it. Opportunity doesn't go away. It will keep knocking until someone answers, period. It just keeps knocking, right? Because here's how I know that to be true. Have you ever had an experience where you're walking through a store, or you see a commercial, or you saw an ad, or you saw something, you're just doing whatever you were doing that day, and then all of a sudden you're like, I had that idea. And now here it is. You're like, that was my idea. It was offered to you. Sure, it was offered to you. But like I said, it just kept knocking. And it will keep knocking until somebody answers. You know, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Scarcity is just an offer. You don't have to accept it 100%. I would submit that you're going to be offered that a lot, almost every 15 minutes or every news cycle or just every conversation. You don't have to accept it, right? It's just simple. You can say no. You're allowed. It is 100%. So let me see. I learned how to have a conversation with those considering purchasing our real estate education. I get them in the right state of mind that allows them to see that they can get started with something else in the future. There is no limitation. Abundance is greater than scarcity. Absolutely. Okay, that was the last one. Abundance is greater than scarcity. What it comes down to is I don't really care what you're deciding. I just cared that you learn to decide in the moment, because that's a skill set that is required for you to build your family, your business, your friendships, your everything. Decide. Just exercise the muscle. Go experiment with a decision. Okay? And I just hope that helps. I don't know how else to say it. So. As just a reminder, again, make sure you get over to Facebook for those of you, or facebook.com/CashFlowDiary Live, because we definitely want to see you again and don't want you to start missing out. If you like it, feel free to hit that like button because that's pretty exciting. And for those of you watching on YouTube, subscribe, please, and hit I think it's the like button and the bell, because the bell does the notifications so that you know when we go live. With all of that being said, though, what I want to remind everybody is today we have been, and are about to continue to what I like to call session number 2, the next session for our 2-day event. If that's something that you'd like to join us in, it's not too late. Feel free. Just send a text message. Text 2-DAY, the number 2, D-A-Y, to 38470, and we'll make sure that you get the link, you get the workbook, and then you can join us to where that is happening in just a few more moments, because the next session is all about how the next session is going to start at 9 in a few moments from now. And it is all around how to go out there and, oh, where'd it go? Ha! It's all about how to go out there and find the money. That's really what we're going to go talk about. That's what we're going to help individuals understand. That's what we're going to help them do. And because right now, you guys have heard me say this, so I'll say it one more time. I believe we have an unprecedented opportunity to build a business and get started. So that's what we're doing together in real time, helping people do simply two things: believe and then build. That's what we're doing. They literally have homework that they're doing right now that they'll keep doing, and they're going to keep getting more homework. And the reason they're getting quote unquote homework, because you're all at home anyway, is so that they begin the building process. And we're building it with them in real time. If that's something you want, feel free to come and join us. In the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific, and it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.